Greetings to whoever is watching this video. Now, I'm just on a stroll at the old park and I wanted to talk to you about sound. Now, believe me, I am no musician. When it comes to music, I know barely anything about the theory, but if you're an independent filmmaker, you often find yourself having to make your own soundtrack. In my first assignment at the VCA, I got lucky. They paired each film student up with an interactive composition student, and that student would score your film. But for the second assignment, we were required to mix our own soundtrack from scratch in a software known as Avid, which isn't great for audio mixing, let's be honest. So at that point I'm thinking, oh great, this is where my marks commit seppuku. Now my film was meant to be quite a suspenseful film, so my first idea was to go straight to GarageBand to try and create a chord which was creepy and edgy and really kind of encapsulated my film. It sucked. After putting together some crappy chord progression, I tried to accompany that with some high-pitched violin sounds. You know the ones I'm talking about, it's really overused. I'll be honest, it brought down the film so much, and I was getting so annoyed that I couldn't make just a simple, stupid soundtrack to make the film just even a tiny bit better. And then I realized that this must happen all the time. I was watching Breaking Bad one night, and there's this scene where Walter is lying in his basement laughing, and the soundtrack is so simple, yet it's such a horrifying scene. And watching that, I realized that perhaps simplicity is a better route. Now the soundtrack in question is called Crawl Space by Dave Porter. And in contrast, what I had been doing just sounded so obvious that I was yelling at the audience, hey, feel this. Taking this a step further, I actually really admire it where in film, when there's a scene with high emotional impact, they choose to have no music at all. So taking on this mode of thought, I went back to the project and completely stripped it of all the layers and started anew. This time, I just focused on generating a simple yet effective beat. Look, as I said at the beginning, I'm no musician, but in my opinion, this brought about suspense in the audience way stronger than anything I was aiming towards in the beginning. If you're perhaps stuck in the same problem as I was, maybe think about stripping the layers, making it less convoluted, and thinking about less is more. That's something I'm always having to work on myself because I'm always like, oh, I want things to be complicated, I want them to be deep, but really, simplicity is the key.